You know, Carly, this stuck out to me. I read it 2 days ago, and I can't get it out of my head. We're both millennials. We graduated during the Great Recession and Obama's era. There was a brief reprieve, 4 years that were really good under Trump, but this is the reality of our generation from the Washington Post. Those born between 1981 and 1996 have been called the unluckiest generation since entering the workforce. They have experienced the slowest economic growth of any age group. They have also been weighed down by student debt, childcare cost.
That was former Trump stooge Kayleigh McEnany, who seems to forget that the 2008 financial crisis actually happened under Republican President George W. Bush. But when has Fox ever let facts get in the way of bashing Democrats? What makes Kayleigh's jab so funny is that at almost the exact same time, the Fox Business Channel aired this graphic, which shows that under Joe Biden, inflation has fallen every single month for the last year. Maybe get your stories straight before you start lying. Apparently, Fox News anchors don't actually watch Fox News. I mean, would you? Because just a few hours later, correspondent Ed Lawrence was on the air spreading inflation lies his own network had just debunked. Take a look at this mess.
Now, he wants to make Bidenomics a household word, but he wants to give people a good feeling when they hear about it. But what they see is that food prices are up about 20% since January of 2021 when the president took office. Overall inflation is up about 16% in that time. This means that people are making about 3% less in their paychecks because everything else is so expensive. In fact, Moody Analytics put a number to it. It says Americans are spending $709 per month more than 2 years ago. And now we have gas prices on the rise.
Remember, Fox Business just said inflation declined every single month for the last year. But Fox News pushed out the exact opposite message with all the confidence of people not burdened by facts. And this goes on all day long. Fox may lie all the time, but they don't always get away with it. Over on the primetime side, Jessica Tarlov took the network to task for blatantly misrepresenting Biden's economic recovery. It was really something to see.
But we started with over 9% inflation at this point last year. Now it's at 3.2%. Before you say it's still too high, grocery prices, I get all of it. I, too, eat and go to the grocery store. But we do have the lowest inflation of the G7 in general. This is a global problem, just much like the issue with energy prices was when Russia invaded Ukraine, which had nothing to do with the Green New Deal, which hasn't even been enacted. But there are these markers out there. Like, if everything is so terrible, for instance, why does Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan all say we're not going to have a recession now when they thought that we would?
Oh, no, Jessica. Fox News does not like being fact-checked on live air. And Tarlov held the floor for what seemed like an eternity to the producers over at The Five.
Why is the unemployment rate so low? Why are we gaining this many jobs? I mean, there are anchors who've been on our own network talking about this, completely flabbergasted live on air when the jobs numbers come in. They say, oh, my God, this is incredible what we're seeing. We're rising up by hundreds of thousands. And then,
so you're even surprised when it goes well.
I'm just imitating an anchor that was surprised. I knew it was happening. This one was.
And Tarlov is absolutely right, which makes this a great moment to remind you of this clip from a few weeks ago, when Fox anchors were struck nearly speechless by Biden's latest job numbers.
517,000 jobs were added. We're looking at an incredible amount right now.
Blockbuster.
Yeah, all right, that's a blockbuster number. 60.4 is what, Emmy? What are you telling? Labor force participation, 60.4. Let me go through the numbers right now. Okay, the jobless rate coming in at 3.4%. So the jobless rate is coming in weaker than expected. The estimate was for 3.6%. The rate coming in at 3.4%. But again, I got to go back to that non-farm number. Holy cow.
Even when there's good news, Fox anchors are contract bound to try and minimize it. But all of this raises a good question. If the Inflation Reduction Act is doing what it says, and even Fox News seems to agree, why are Republicans so dead set on repealing it? That's a simple answer. It's because they hate Joe Biden more than they care about the economy. And that fact isn't lost on Joe Biden, who couldn't help but note that Republicans love to take credit for his administration's achievements.
In fact, Republicans have repeatedly tried to repeal key parts of the Inflation Reduction Act, including the Speaker of the House now, taking credit for the billions of dollars in private investments and thousands of jobs coming into their states. That's okay. I ran for president, and I said I represent all Americans. And like I said in the State of the Union, I'll see you at the groundbreaking. You think I'm kidding? You know I'm not.
Listen, I really need Joe Biden to amp up the energy like 20%. We're talking about a historic economic boom and historic jobs numbers. And yet Biden sounds like he's talking to a school assembly about staying off the cocaine.
You think I'm kidding?
Let's get some energy behind these wins, guys. Republicans can't rely on bad economic data to make their case, so they've just decided to outright lie instead. But with Democrats still struggling to develop a strong message around the Inflation Reduction Act, those Republicans are actually winning. If that upsets you, good. It should. Because if Republicans win the White House next year, they're set to undo everything Democrats have done to save our economy. If only voters heard that message instead of more Fox News lies.
Holy cow.
And if you thought that was nuts, check out this video of Georgia's Marjorie Taylor Greene cheering on a voter who says Democrats should be executed.
Well, I think we're ending on a right note.
Remember to subscribe to my new solo channel, The Third Degree with Max Burns. And as always, leave a comment below so you can let me know what I should cover next.